in Nigeria that we are, things are difficult. Nigerians, the economy is not smiling at anybody. And it's Christmas. We still want to celebrate Christmas. Many families are trying hard. They're struggling. Others are finding a way to make it happen. In your own view, this looking as a review of the year, how do you think we can celebrate Christmas even with all the hardship that is going on right now?
You know, I think there will always be people that have and the people that don't have, regardless of, you know, where you're at in the world. And, you know, now we're talking about a season where everybody celebrates, right? And we've hammered on something about Christmas. It's a season of giving.
Yeah.
It's a season of joy. It's a season of celebration. It's a season of happiness. Do you know why? Because of the fact that it's a season of kindness. When people show acts of kindness, it releases oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. We call them the happy hormones. And everybody is happy. And so it is our responsibility. Remember then, we will go to Ido. We will go to where the poor people are. Give them food.
Yes.
Give them rice. Give them chicken. And it's about time that we continued, you know,
sometimes
doing
it's like
those
an
things.
obligation. Sometimes it's
I
really
remember
difficult. Sometimes this season, come to you, Nimani. Sometimes this season it looks like an obligation because you want to give, you want that good mood, that happy hormone to come, but that happy one finds it difficult to come out because
Because of the size of your pocket.
size of my pocket.
But you know, you have to do it within your means.
Exactly.
Within your means.
Yeah, you
And be deliberate about
Yeah.
it. So what I do is I know I have Christian neighbors and they would love so much to give me food. So before Christmas, maybe by 1st of December, I gift them what I think they need. Yes. Ahead of time. And I wake up early morning, I show up at their house expecting the old joy and all the celebration, and I'll join them in the celebrations. I saw my parents do it deliberately. So when it's the earliest time, I remember them gifting someone firewood at the beginning of the month. And I was like, don't worry, Omakono. And truly, that morning, we had showed up, and it was the firewood they were using to cook. So you can be deliberate, you know, just target what you
Plan
think.
it.
is just
Yeah.
Plan it.
And also, you know, you mentioned that when you asked, like, things are hard now. For me, growing up, things were hard. Harder then than they are now. And we knew there was a difference between the families that had a lot. But it made me realize as an adult that my parents and the older ones were making sacrifices for me. You know, that I enjoyed the Christmas that I enjoyed was because they must have denied themselves of so many things. They made it so special for me and for my siblings that we did not realize how much tough life was for the adults in our lives until we grew up and realized that times that they didn't eat the second piece of meat wasn't because they didn't want to eat it, but because they knew that we needed it more. So it's really about sacrifice and about kindness. But then the second thing also is when I talked about my grandma, you know, giving people food. People that collected it didn't look down at it.
Yeah.
So there's this attitude now where people expect a certain type of gift from you.
Money. Dollars.
Yeah, money. Is this what, sometimes there's some will even go as far as saying, is this what you're giving me? You know, but then people appreciate it. It was just in the spirit of Christmas, in the spirit of sharing, we thank you for whatever it is that you have, and then we give each other and we're good. So
I mean, something happened when we crossed over to the audience, right? The gentleman was talking about piggy banks.
Yes.
We saved
Yes.
towards Christmas.
yeah.
We saved towards giving during Christmas. And this is what is lost today. So people say that times are hard. It's because people are not financially disciplined. Then we sacrificed, then we saved. Then you were required to break your piggy bank.
Yeah.
Not to
Prepare
spend
for
it on yourself, but to give. Because we were trained also as young people, right, who had money to give. So a lot of that is missing today, and we must get back to that.
So I am worried that a lot of people get carried away with the frenzy of celebration and they lose themselves. And I would like that you advise people out there. How do you protect yourself, protect your mental health even in this period? Because there are people who will be watching and maybe probably
pressure.
expecting people to gift them and they don't get it. How do they handle that?
I mean, there are different kinds of people. There are people who have, and there are people that don't have. And, you know, we need to create, you know, an equitable ecosystem where Christmas is a time where we celebrate each other. Now, you know, nobody can give you what you don't have. So you have to celebrate yourself. So this season, coincidentally, is a season where you reflect on what you did right and what you didn't do right. And you ask yourself, what can you stop doing towards the following year?
Yeah.
What didn't you do this year that you need to start doing? What did you waste your time and your life doing this year that you need to do less of? And what didn't you give enough time to last year that you need to give time to? That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to focus on your focus. You have to live your life on your own terms. You have to walk your own path. And you have to recognize that my life, your life are different. Our paths are different. And so it is time for us to stop comparing ourselves to other people. It is time for us to stop desiring what other people have. Because you see a guy that now buys a Range Rover in December, and you also now say, oh yes, I'm going to buy. You don't know that for the last 5 years, he has been saving towards it.
Yeah.
You don't know what he has sacrificed. You don't know whether it was even gifted to him as a bonus for all the hard work that he had done.
True.
So, no two lives are the same. So never be covetous, because that is where sadness
Comes in.
and problems come in. Focus on your focus.
Now, let me, this year, Lanre, a lot of families have jackpot. Families are broken.
Yeah.
Husband has relocated. Wife is in Nigeria. Wife has relocated. Husband is here. And it's Christmas, and they don't have each other.
Wow.
And there are a lot of families right now that feel like this Christmas is not like the Christmas I want my children to know.
Yeah.
We've been fragmented because of the reality of our time.
Yeah.
How do you help families whose loved ones are far away from them, especially their nuclear family, especially in this kind of season?
I mean, it's tough. I would like to address that jackpot syndrome first.
Yes.
Some people are required to go, but not everybody is required to go. And what begins to happen is when a group of people start making certain decisions, right, and people start hearing, it creates a wave. And so that wave carries you, not knowing that you were not supposed to go. So it's the wave that is carrying people. We have always jackpot.
Yes.
We have always jackpot. Our fathers have always gone to school abroad.
Yes.
They have always gone, abroad, right? There was the time of Andrew, I'm tired of all of this, I'm going. There was a time where the lecturers went to Saudi. We've always jackpot.
Yeah.
That's who we are as Nigerians. I mean, I flew to China, right? From Lagos to London, from London to Beijing, from Beijing to Hangzhou. Then I drove 6 hours to a place called Yiwu, right? And I found Nigerians there. You understand? 13 hours to Beijing, another 3-4 hours to Hangzhou, and then I drove 6 hours to Yiwu. I found Igbo people and Yoruba people there. Nigerians have always been everywhere. So this jackpot syndrome is not a new thing, but what are you jackpotting to do? Number one. Number two, did God tell you to jackpot? Number three, right? What are the consequences of your jackpotting?
Decision.
Are you willing to?
You need to weigh all of that. Are you jackpotting because your friends that are doctors have jackpot and there's a wave, or you are supposed to? How long are you jackpotting for? Right? When you are jackpotting, what are you going to do there? Some people have sold everything that they have to jackpot, and then they get there, they realize there's nothing. It's worse there than here.
Yeah.
And it is true. It is worse there for so many people than here. But guess what? Because of pride, they can't come back.
Back to what after they've sold?
Yes. And so the thing to do is, when you find yourself in this situation, broken from your family, is we have technology. You are going to have to celebrate Christmas, on Zoom.
I've never heard that.
And then, when you're having cocktails, you're having jollof rice there. You too, you're having your own jollof rice here. It's the way that you make your decision, that you have to live with the pros and the cons of it.
Wow.
Talking about covetousness, I was just thinking, right, that social media again here, where, as I mentioned earlier, Christmas for me, tougher times then, but I didn't know because everyone around me was just like me. There was no social media that was right in front of my face showing me Mariah doing Dirty December, So I had no qualms, no feeling of competition. But now you live in a world where you're sitting in your village in Ora, and then you're watching Paris Hilton, in Aspen and all sorts of things. Where will you get the happiness from? So what do you need to do to build yourself, knowing that you live in a world where people are living differently from you, but, can still
back
enjoy yourself?
back to asking yourself also, because it's a season of reflection. What am I passionate about? What makes me happy? Right? And you have to realize that, happiness is not a thing. It comes from deep within you. It comes from deep within you. And you have to also realize that this life that we live, it evolves. It's never static. I mean, we never used to do Dirty December now. But now is the era of Dirty December. We never used to do those Christmas concerts. But now is the era of Afrobeats.
Yes.
And this December, OMG.
partying.
No, it's really interesting because all our children that school abroad and people that live abroad want to come to Nigeria for Christmas.
Yes.
And it is time for our government to begin to sit down and think about it.
Business of it.
It is huge. You know what they do in Ghana? This is the season where they bring back everybody to Ghana. And they monetize it. The tourism industry is mad. They make mad money in December. It is time for us to have music festivals, food festivals, fashion festivals. Our culture needs to be celebrated the whole of December. And do you know that they used to do it in Calabar?
I don't know what happened. But thank you for your
once the
page.
government changed.
Yeah.
So I follow your page on Facebook, and I like all the Afro contents that you put up, and there's the language you use. It's time for Africa.
Africa
It's
is a
time for
reason.
Nigeria. Yes.
Africa is a reason.
Thank you so much. But
Thank
I'd like
you.
to add that because I get excessive food during this time. Like I say, they finish till January. So I freeze. I've started clearing my freezer.
Wow.
I have these takeaway packs. I freeze and keep. I can still be eating Morel's rice maybe in
February.
mid-January. Yes. I have some chicken that I eat towards the end of the year. I have chicken from last year, December, still walking around my compound this December. So please don't waste. If you have excess, what we used to do in my dad's house, we used to pack that very Christmas, they take it out to give ounce. And the ones we can freeze, we freeze. But don't waste.
And the beauty about it is, she's Muslim, we're Christians, right? Is the unity.
Yes.
It's the unity.
season.
During Christmas, we give. They celebrate with us. During Salah, they give. We celebrate. We celebrate with them. So there is no divide between Muslims and Christians.
Yeah.
We are one.
Absolutely. I think we can end with that.